Chosen one, anchor your spirit to what I am about to reveal, because what I uncovered while preparing this message made me sit in absolute silence. I know the last 72 hours have felt incredibly strange for you. The atmosphere in your own home feels undeniably heavy. Conversations seem to stop the exact moment you walk into the room, and you find yourself waking at 3 in the morning with a weight on your chest you cannot explain to anyone. You are not imagining this heavy shift in your reality. You are not losing your mind or going crazy today, and you are certainly not being too sensitive about this situation. What you are feeling right now is completely and entirely real. There is a profound gap between the person you know yourself to be inside and the version of you that the world currently sees. You feel this painful gap every single day of your life. You watch other people succeed effortlessly while you struggle to just maintain your peace. You give so much to everyone around you, but receive so little in return. You have always been the one people come to with their heavy problems. You carry their emotional burdens while your own tired shoulders silently ache. It feels like the universe has placed your entire life on a long hold, like your connection to the divine has been wrapped in thick static. You remember a time when your intuition was sharp like bright lightning. When you were a child, new ideas came easily and naturally to you. The universe felt like it was completely on your side and working in your favor. But then, adulthood arrived with heavy expectations. The endless stress and the relentless survival routine pushed that sacred frequency deeper below the surface. Every single year, your natural quantum connection was suppressed a little further, until the version of you with lightning intuition went completely silent. Now you live with this quiet and lingering internal ache. You carry a deep suspicion that you have been locked out of your own divine inheritance. You have tried absolutely everything to fix this broken connection. You tried meditating for hours and praying until your voice went completely hoarse, but nothing truly clears the heavy mental fog. You still feel like a stranger wandering aimlessly in your own life. You still feel totally out of phase with physical reality. And the enemy has been working overtime to make you believe this is your own fault. He wants you to look at your stagnant finances and your repeating relationship patterns and conclude that you are cursed. He wants you to accept the painful label of the misunderstood scapegoat. But that is a massive and destructive lie. The enemy does not waste premium attacks on people without premium assignments. Your deep pain has a profound and world-changing purpose. The enemy has been targeting you for one reason, and one reason only. He knows exactly what shifts the moment you receive the activated words in this message. You did not find this video by random accident today. The algorithm did not bring you here by some lucky digital chance. The Holy Spirit guided you to this exact moment in time. This is a divine appointment scheduled before the foundations of the earth were ever laid. Before we go any further into this revelation, I want to hold something in front of you, something that was discovered not inside a church or a spiritual community, but inside a high-level research laboratory, something that won the highest scientific recognition available in the modern world, and most chosen ones have never been told about it because the system hides it. It explains exactly what you have been feeling all these exhausting years. It scientifically explains the painful gap between your current reality and your true spiritual power. I will show you exactly what the researchers found in that lab, but I cannot reveal the full truth of it just yet. First, I need you to hold this specific question in your mind. What if the gap between you and the universe is not a character flaw? What if it is a suppressed frequency, waiting patiently to be switched back on? Keep that crucial question anchored deeply in your spirit. In the next few minutes, I am going to reveal 3 things that will change your trajectory forever. First, I will reveal the true nature of quantum consciousness and why your deep isolation was never a punishment. Second, I will expose the exact lie the system used to keep your frequency trapped in pure survival mode. And finally, at the very end of this message, I will give you the specific key to reactivate your original quantum connection. Do not click away from this screen. If you leave before the end, you walk away from the very verdict heaven prepared for you. The forces that benefit from your mental suppression want you to close this video right now. They want you to feel bored or suddenly distracted by mundane things. Resist that dark urge with absolutely everything inside your soul. Lock every single part of your attention onto my voice, because your massive breakthrough is hiding inside the next few minutes. Your entire frequency is about to shift. The world has constantly told you that your isolation is a huge problem. They made you believe your deep sensitivity is a tragic flaw. But let me reframe your entire reality right now. That painful isolation you have been calling a harsh punishment was never a punishment, because it was a holy and necessary preparation. You were not being rejected by the universe today. God did not remove the loud crowd to completely abandon you in the dark. He removed the noisy crowd so he could finally speak to you without any toxic interference. Your painful isolation is not evidence of your disqualification today. It is profound evidence of your divine selection. You were placed in the quiet crucible for a very specific reason while heaven prepared you for this moment. What you carry inside your soul is not a bleeding wound. It is a powerful weapon waiting to be fully awakened. The intense sensitivity the enemy told you to hide is actually a quantum radar. The deep empathy that made you feel like you were too much is your greatest gift. And it is the very thing that gives your words the heavy weight to completely shift atmospheres when you walk into a room. You were never a broken person needing to be fixed by normal society. You were meticulously built for a different frequency. The old system simply could not handle the bright light you naturally emit, so they tried to convince you that your light was actually darkness. They wanted you to constantly apologize for your own spiritual magnitude, because your raw power terrified their limited minds. But you did not just survive what should have completely broken you. The intense pressure actually developed your inner capacity for what comes next. And this brings us to something most regular people miss entirely. Because the spiritual warfare you have been fighting has a very physical component, and it operates on a specific biological level inside your own living body. Here is what the modern system never told you about your quiet struggle. The reason the universe responds to certain people and not others is not blind faith. It is not rigid discipline or doing everything perfectly. It is not even ancient karma. It is a biological brainwave, and scientists actually have a specific name for this powerful quantum state of being. They call it the gamma frequency, and it is the exact frequency your brain was running when you were a small child. Back when brilliant ideas came easily and naturally to your open mind, when learning new things felt completely effortless, when you somehow knew things before they even happened in physical reality, your intuition was absolutely perfect and totally undeniable. In those early days, the world felt like it was completely on your side. You felt a deep and magical connection to the fabric of the universe. Every synchronicity felt like a loving whisper from the divine creator. You did not have to force anything to happen. You just existed in a pure state of high quantum consciousness, and total abundance flowed to you without any struggle. Then heavy adulthood arrived with all its crushing and endless demands, and the modern world went to work on your bright mind. The chronic stress of daily life began to severely cloud your vision. The glowing screens and the relentless survival routine took a massive toll. The rigid school system trained you to carefully conform, instead of allowing your brain to beautifully and naturally create. Every single year, this sacred frequency was suppressed a little further. It was pushed deeper and deeper below the noisy surface of your busy mind. The modern matrix was perfectly designed to dull your natural quantum receiver. They could not steal your divine gift entirely, but they could successfully turn the volume all the way down while you were too exhausted to even notice the subtle theft. Until the version of you with photographic memory went completely silent, the version of you with lightning intuition was buried under layers of anxious doubt. The version of you with the kind of luck that makes others whisper simply faded away, and you were left feeling incredibly hollow, while your spirit felt entirely disconnected from your own higher self and the divine plan. You have spent years trying to figure out what went wrong with you. You blamed yourself for losing that effortless magic you once possessed. But it was never your fault that the world assaulted your nervous system. The heavy static of modern survival mode was deliberately engineered to block your access because the system wants to keep you tired and fully compliant forever. Most people will live their entire human lives without ever knowing this happened to them. They will accept the low frequency as their permanent reality. But you are not most people. You are a chosen one who feels the painful absence of the bright light. You know deep in your bones that a crucial piece of your identity is missing, and your soul is desperately searching for it. And the question I asked you to hold a few minutes ago is so important. The question about a hidden gap and a scientific name. The answer to that profound question is closer than you think, because what was suppressed by the heavy world can absolutely be reactivated. Stay with me because the truth is about to get much deeper, and you need to hear every single word. And that is the exact reason this difficult season happened to you. Not to break you down, but to completely prepare you for your assignment. That is the very first thing I promised you at the start of this message. Your spiritual block was never a harsh punishment from above. It was a physical suppression of your natural frequency, and the world aggressively turned down your quantum receiver because your inner light was too loud. The universe does not speak in complicated human words. It speaks exclusively in the ancient language of quantum vibration. Everything around us is constantly moving and vibrating at a specific rate. You were meticulously designed to be a powerful quantum receiver. Your physical body is a tuning fork for divine energy. When you are tuned to the right wavelength, everything flows with effortless grace. Nikola Tesla understood this profound reality better than almost anyone in human history. He famously said that to find the secrets of the universe, you must think in terms of frequency and vibration. He did not just guess this spiritual truth in the dark. He lived it every single day of his incredible life. And his brilliant mind was locked into the gamma state while he pulled ideas directly from the quantum field. Albert Einstein also understood that reality is governed by pure physics. You must match the frequency of the reality you want to experience in your life. This is not some cheap philosophy for weak minds. This is the fundamental and undeniable law of quantum mechanics. Your brain is a powerful biological machine built to interact with these invisible cosmic waves. You literally attract what matches your dominant brainwave. Modern researchers have spent decades studying this exact phenomenon in deep silence. The Einstein Center in Berlin confirmed that the legendary flow state is driven entirely by gamma brainwave activity. They studied monks known as the happiest people alive, and they found their peaceful brains showed pure gamma waves flowing constantly. The highest levels of human consciousness always emit this specific electrical signature. This proves your spiritual connection is not just a wild imagination, it is a biological reality happening right inside your head. When your gamma signal is strong, it radiates outward and influences the people around you. Columbia University found that your brainwave state can physically alter the atmosphere of a room. This is exactly why people always came to you with their heavy burdens since you were a child. Their low-frequency nervous systems were desperately seeking the calming anchor of your high quantum energy. You were healing them silently, without even opening your mouth. But this massive energy exchange left your own receiver completely exhausted. Think about the ancient prophets who walked the earth long before modern science existed. When God called Moses to the burning bush, he initiated a massive frequency shift. God cleared the noisy room so he could finally speak to Moses without earthly interference. The burning bush was a visual manifestation of a high quantum state. The divine always speaks through pure vibration and holy frequency. You carry that exact same prophetic mantle today. The intense sensitivity you have felt since childhood is your biological tuning fork trying to catch the divine signal. But the modern matrix flooded your environment with toxic static. They surrounded you with endless noise to keep you distracted from your true power, because a chosen one operating at full capacity is deeply terrifying to the broken system. The enemy does not waste premium attacks on people without premium assignments. The extreme intensity of the spiritual warfare against you is undeniable proof of your magnitude. They meant to completely destroy you in the dark, but instead they accidentally developed your spiritual muscles and made you infinitely stronger. Now, they have absolutely no idea what to do with your rising energy. You have been walking through a hot crucible of heavy transformation, and the fire was never meant to burn you to ashes, because it was exclusively designed to burn away the thick static. You are standing between two identities right now. The old, tired version of you is rapidly dissolving, and the fully activated quantum master is being birthed by heaven. That is the profound truth you must fully accept today. Your painful isolation was actually your holy consecration. The universe was protecting your unique frequency by removing the people who could not safely match it. Every person who walked away was grieving the old you they were about to lose. What is leaving your life right now is just making room for what is meant for you. You are not the misunderstood outcast you thought you were. You are the specific chosen one sent to hold this powerful frequency for your bloodline. And once that profound truth clicks into place, everything inside you shifts. But here is where the narrative of your journey delves far deeper than most are willing to perceive. Once you accept your holy selection, you are ready for the next layer. There is a deeper root operating beneath every single season of your life. And if you do not actively see it, it will keep running silently in the dark. Coming up in just a moment, I will expose it. But first, let this truth settle deep in your spirit. Here is that deeper root I promised you a moment ago. The thing quietly hurting you is not just the enemy. It is the exhausting fact that you keep trying to explain your high frequency to people who are biologically incapable of hearing it. You have spent years translating your deep quantum soul into small words, so normal people could feel comfortable around you. You apologize for knowing things you should not logically know. You shrink yourself down to fit into their tiny boxes. You dim your blinding light just to keep the peace. But doing this destroys your own internal receiver, and it is the exact reason you feel so completely drained today. Let me explain the physics of what is actually happening in your relationships. The people pulling away from you right now are not actively rejecting you. They are simply sensing a massive frequency shift they cannot yet understand. When your gamma wave begins to naturally reactivate, your vibration accelerates. You become an energetic enigma to the sleeping world. Normal people sense this shift immediately. They look at your life and secretly envy the invisible grace that covers you even in your hardest seasons. They feel the undeniable weight of your spirit when you walk into the room, and it makes their unhealed trauma feel incredibly uncomfortable. Think about a simple radio receiver. You cannot hear a beautiful classical music station if your dial is firmly stuck on heavy static. Most people live their entire lives trapped in the beta brainwave state. This is the rigid frequency of fear and pure survival. They are constantly worrying about bills and empty social status. But your brain was designed to tune into the high gamma wavelength of divine intuition. When you try to connect with them, It is like broadcasting high-definition television to an old black-and-white screen. The signal simply cannot process. You are not broken. You are definitely not too sensitive. You were meticulously built for a completely different frequency. The depth that made you feel like you were entirely too much is the exact thing that gives you your raw power. Some people studied you like a strange science project, only to realize too late that you were the brilliant scientist the whole time. They are terrified of the profound clarity you carry inside. Your very presence forces them to look at the shadows they have been desperately avoiding. You have become the giant question mark in their neat little equations. This frequency gap explains every single painful ending in your life. It explains why certain friendships suddenly felt incredibly heavy and toxic. It explains why you had to walk away from environments that used to feel completely safe. You were not being difficult. You were not being antisocial at all. You were biologically vibrating out of their limited reality. Your soul literally outgrew the small container they tried to force you into. God had to fiercely remove them to protect your ascending quantum signal. You must stop demanding apologies from people who are completely deaf to your frequency. You must stop waiting for closure from minds that cannot even comprehend your quantum language. Heaven is calling you up to a much higher bandwidth today. You are being repositioned as a master of your own radiant energy. The universe wants you to completely own your unique energetic signature. When you finally stop apologizing for your intense vibration, the physical world has no choice but to bend to your new frequency, because a chosen one who fully accepts their gamma nature becomes deeply magnetic. You stop chasing basic opportunities and start naturally attracting massive cosmic breakthroughs. Doors that were sealed shut for decades will begin to gently loosen. You will walk into rooms and the atmosphere will instantly shift in your favor. The relationships that match your new frequency will flow toward you with absolute ease. You will no longer have to beg anyone to see your true spiritual value. The right people will recognize your bright light instantly. They will hear your unique frequency and know they have finally found their home. This is the incredible power of a restored quantum receiver. But before you can step fully into this magnetic quantum reality, we have to face something very difficult, because knowing you carry this rare frequency is only half of the journey. The other half is identifying what is still blocking it from the inside. And here is the part, the unexpected twist that you likely did not anticipate at all. The thing quietly blocking your massive breakthrough is not the dark enemy. Coming up, I am going to gently expose this hidden block. But first, you must let this deep frequency validation settle into your bones. This brings us to the most crucial revelation about your divine design. What you carry inside you cannot be cheaply copied by the world. It cannot be reverse engineered by people who do not understand your spirit. And it absolutely cannot be taken from you permanently, because your spiritual capacity is hardwired into your nervous system. The intense sensitivity they told you to hide is a powerful radar. The quiet intuition you possess is not a lucky guess. It is a biological calculation happening faster than your conscious mind can process. Your brain is catching subtle quantum signals from the universe, while everyone else is distracted by loud noise. When you walk into a crowded room and instantly know the true intentions of every person there, that is your gamma frequency operating at peak capacity. When you wake up with a sudden solution to a complex problem you were not even thinking about, that is the divine signal breaking through the static. You have spent your entire life believing this was just a weird quirk, but it is actually a highly sophisticated mechanism of survival and spiritual elevation. The universe placed this incredible gift inside you because you have a massive assignment. You were chosen to be a cycle breaker for your entire bloodline. You are the one designated to clear the heavy generational trauma from your family tree. You are meant to shift the financial trajectory of your lineage forever. This is exactly why the spiritual warfare against you has been so incredibly intense. The enemy understands the massive magnitude of your true calling, even when you doubt yourself. And this is why they worked so hard to completely suppress your original brainwave. They knew that if a chosen one like you ever figured out how to stay in the high-frequency state, you would become totally unstoppable. You would no longer be a victim of circumstances. You would become the conscious creator of your own radiant reality. But before we go any further into your activation, I have to tell you something important, something the people who profit from your deep exhaustion absolutely do not want you to know, because they want you to keep buying endless courses and expensive crystals that do not actually work. Neuroscientists, working quietly and away from the loud headlines, have discovered how to bring this dormant brainwave back online, and it is not through years of silent meditation that most busy people simply cannot sustain. It is not through complicated biofeedback machines that cost $7,000 and require a clinical setting. It is through something far simpler and much more elegant, something far more aligned with how your body was originally designed to work. A team of dedicated neuroscientists discovered a specific sound frequency engineered to gently guide your brainwave patterns back to the genius state you were born with. They found a way to use pure sound to reactivate the suppressed gamma signal. Princeton studied this profound phenomenon. The Einstein Center in Berlin confirmed it. Columbia University found that when this specific brainwave is reactivated, it does not just stop with your own healing. It begins to positively influence the people around you, your beloved children, your partner, the people you care about most deeply. 7 minutes a day of listening to this specific audio frequency. That is all it takes to begin reversing the damage the modern world did to your nervous system. And it begins working the very first time you listen to it. I will tell you exactly what this powerful tool is called and how to access it before this message ends. That is a solid promise. I will give you the precise name of the frequency that restores your quantum receiver. But first, there is something you deeply need to understand about why your personal breakthrough has been delayed for so long. Because the tool itself is only one half of the massive equation. The other half is what happens inside your own soul when you finally decide to use it. And here is where it gets truly confrontational. Here is where we must look honestly at a very subtle snare that has kept you completely trapped in place. Because there is a hidden block standing directly between you and your ultimate breakthrough. And it is not what your anxious mind immediately conjured. Stay with me, because exposing this quiet block is the only way to finally break the exhausting cycle. But here is the part no one ever wants to say out loud. And I say this to you with nothing but absolute pure love. The thing that has been quietly blocking your massive breakthrough is not the dark enemy. It is not some generational curse. And it is definitely not because God forgot about your situation when things got hard. The hidden block is actually operating deep inside you. Please do not close your heart to this deep truth. This is not a harsh accusation against your character, because this is the precise spiritual diagnosis that finally sets you free. You have been trying to force your divine breakthrough using sheer human willpower. You have been using physical exhaustion as a substitute for true quantum alignment. You thought if you just prayed a little harder, the sky would open. You genuinely believed that if you just meditated for 1 more hour every single day, the universe would finally look down and reward your deep and silent suffering. You have secretly made a holy idol out of your own intense struggle. You subconsciously believe your deep pain buys divine favor today. But you cannot force a broken radio to catch a beautiful signal by screaming at it. You cannot fix a disconnected quantum receiver by applying more brute physical force while ignoring the biological root cause of your disconnection. Your heavy flesh cannot do the delicate work of your high spirit. Human discipline cannot manually override a suppressed biological frequency. When you try to manifest your new reality through pure effort, you actually lower your overall vibration. Because intense striving is the exact frequency of deep fear, it broadcasts a loud message to the universe that you do not truly trust the divine plan. It tells the quantum field that you feel entirely separated from your own holy inheritance. You have been fighting a spiritual battle with blunt physical weapons, and that is exactly why you are so completely exhausted right now. You are constantly carrying a massive emotional boulder up a steep hill, while the abundant universe is standing right there, offering you a pair of bright wings. Some quiet part of you has actually been terribly afraid to let go of the struggle. You have carried the heavy weight for so long that it feels like your only identity. Who are you if you are not the one fighting for daily survival? Who are you if your life suddenly becomes incredibly easy without any harsh effort? The enemy trained you to be highly suspicious of peace, so you subconsciously sabotage your own rest by creating more unnecessary work. It is time to drop the heavy human armor today. You do not need to earn what was already freely placed inside your soul before your birth. You do not need anyone to grant you permission to finally be incredibly powerful. Your massive breakthrough does not require one more ounce of your exhausted physical effort. It only requires a fully restored quantum receiver. Imagine standing in a pitch-black room and desperately trying to push the heavy shadows away with your bare hands instead of just turning on the light. That is what you have been doing for years. Activating your gamma brainwave is exactly like flipping that cosmic switch. When you restore the frequency, the desperate striving stops and the right answers simply arrive on time. Your deep isolation was preparing you for this exact beautiful realization. Heaven had to let you completely exhaust your own human strength, just so you would finally surrender to the high frequency that was always waiting for you. You have reached the absolute end of what your physical willpower can achieve, and that is the most perfect place you could possibly be. Because the very end of your human effort is the exact beginning of your ultimate quantum power. The old identity of the struggling survivor is completely dissolving in the brilliant light today. You are boldly stepping into the radiant identity of the fully integrated quantum master. But you must consciously release the heavy agreements you quietly made with your own smallness. You must actively evict the toxic lie that you have to suffer deeply and sacrifice your own peace just to be considered worthy of pure divine love. You are already entirely worthy just by existing and breathing on this earth. The universe is desperately waiting for you to simply accept your massive divine inheritance. It is time to clear the heavy static and let your bright signal fly. And now comes the pivotal moment where everything in your physical reality shifts forever. This is the critical juncture you have been waiting for your entire life. You are finally ready to break the heavy generational cycle of endless human striving, and you are prepared to leave that deep pain entirely in the past. You are ready to fully realign your nervous system. The deep preparation is finally complete. The heavy waiting season is officially over, and what we are about to do next will seal this profound truth directly into your open spirit. Prepare your loving heart to make the ultimate quantum shift right now, because your true assignment starts the exact moment you speak these next powerful words out loud. Tonight, before you go to sleep, I want you to do something incredibly powerful. Place your hand firmly over your beating heart right now and declare these sacred words out loud with me into the listening universe. I release the endless need to struggle for my blessings because I know my deep isolation was holy preparation and not a harsh punishment. I release every heavy agreement I ever made with smallness. I step fully into my massive assignment today. I am absolutely worthy of receiving divine abundance without any painful suffering. My ultimate breakthrough is not coming sometime in the distant future. It is already here and waiting for me to simply catch the quantum signal. I fully accept my high quantum frequency right now, and I walk forward confidently, knowing I am chosen and completely prepared for what comes next. The profound question I asked you to hold at the beginning of this message: what if the gap is not a character flaw at all? Here is the final beautiful answer. A specific brainwave, called the gamma wave, was running freely inside you as a brilliant child. Princeton University studied this exact high-frequency state in their modern labs, and the Einstein Center completely confirmed its massive biological power. A dedicated team of neuroscientists spent years studying this biological phenomenon. Dr. Robert Lake led this quiet research away from the loud headlines. They managed to compress the full clinical gamma reactivation process into just 7 effective minutes. But before I tell you what they finally built, let me tell you about 2 specific people who used it, because their powerful stories will completely resonate with your tired soul. A tired woman from California had genuinely tried absolutely everything. She did meditation and manifesting and endless hopeful prayers, but nothing broke the heavy fog sitting constantly on her mind. After 2 weeks of listening to this frequency, she said something miraculously cleared. Not that she tried harder to fix her broken life, but the blocked channel simply opened up on its own. Her entire marriage shifted back to deep and pure love. Her anxious mind sharpened and became incredibly clear. She described her daily life as truly enchanted for the very first time. Then, a stressed man from Texas started using it to improve his business focus. 2 short months later, his shocked wife joked that his natural intelligence had jumped 20 points. The hardest problems he used to lose sleep over started solving themselves while he slept peacefully. He said it felt like his brain was finally running on what it was always supposed to run on. That is exactly what Dr. Lake and his dedicated team built in that quiet lab. They call it the Genius Song. It is not another boring meditation app. It is a 7-minute audio track using advanced brain entrainment technology. It is compressed from 1 full hour of clinical protocol into something you do easily at home. You simply put on your headphones and close your tired eyes, and that is the absolute entirety of what it requires from you. You do not meditate or chant or try to force focus. You simply let the pure frequency do what your brain was originally designed to receive naturally. But the Genius Song is not for everyone watching this video today. It is only for the chosen one who has already done the hard inner work. It is for the person who deeply understands that their faith is perfectly fine. It is just the biological frequency receiver that desperately needs to be restored. If your spirit confirms this is meant for you, the open path is waiting. Biofeedback sessions to restore this specific state cost hundreds of dollars per hour. An in-home clinical machine easily runs into the thousands. What the Genius Song delivers in 7 minutes is available to you today. It is available for a tiny fraction of its true value, and 4 powerful bonuses come completely free with it today. You get an audio designed specifically for your children, the original prosperity text, a guided visualization, and a daily habits guide. Here is the much deeper truth about waiting for a better time. The divine provision God arranged for you does not arrive as new information. It arrives as a sudden and incredibly clear recognition. Something already placed in your path becomes fully visible only when your gamma state is restored. The chosen one who restores the receiver today does not receive something completely new. They finally see what was always there waiting for them, because their frequency finally matches the blessing. Waiting is not a neutral action. The cosmic arrangement is already in motion right now. Do not look for this specific tool on common streaming platforms. The fake tracks circulating under similar names on those sites have no brain entrainment technology encoded. They will lower your vibration instead of lifting it up. The only authentic version is available through the secure link placed in the description and the pinned comment below. The loving universe requires absolutely no financial risk from you today. If you do not feel the massive shift in your physical reality, every single penny is returned to you. That is an energetic exchange governed by complete and total divine trust. The link is waiting safely in the description and in the first pinned comment below. The frequency tool is not the final spiritual destination. The tool simply restores the human receiver so the divine destination can be recognized when it finally arrives. God does not require you to purchase anything to be deeply loved or chosen by heaven. What was just described is simply one valid way the broken receiver is restored quickly. Whether that specific path is for you or not, the truth of this powerful message belongs to you entirely. The physical tool clears the biological channel, but God fills the spiritual void. Those are two completely different things, and they are both incredibly true at the very same time. Now let us return to the deep center of what is waiting for you. The heavy season of intense preparation is finally and beautifully complete. You are not the same exact person who started watching this message today. The old rigid structures of your past life have completely dissolved into the quiet air. You do not need anyone else to externally validate the profound and massive shift that just happened inside your healing chest. Every single tear you cried in the dark was carefully collected by the divine. The agonizing years you spent feeling completely misunderstood were never a cruel waste of your precious time. They were meticulously preparing your sensitive nervous system to hold this massive incoming frequency. You were being forged in a very quiet and holy fire because the universe knew exactly what you were meant to become. You are not the rejected outcast they foolishly claimed you were. You are the chosen one, selected to carry a brilliant light into a very dark world. The people who walked away from you were simply making room for your new blessings. You do not have to chase after anyone who cannot hear your beautiful song. And you never have to apologize for your bright energy again, because your quantum light is your ultimate authority. For the chosen one whose spirit deeply confirmed what was described earlier, the path remains open. The frequency tool is waiting safely in the description for those meant to use it. That is the absolute last time it will be mentioned today. What follows now belongs entirely to your sacred sealing, and I want you to receive these final restorative words with a completely open and peacefully surrendered heart as we close this chapter. You do not need human permission to step into your cosmic power. The chains of constant approval have been permanently broken off your shoulders today. You are officially authorized to take up massive space in this world. Your unique frequency is your ultimate defense. And the broken matrix can no longer dictate how much brilliant joy you are actually allowed to deeply experience in this physical lifetime. Release every single lingering agreement you ever made with artificial smallness. Let go of the toxic lie that your deep sensitivity is a heavy burden. You do not have to constantly apologize for feeling things deeply. Your profound depth is the exact vessel required to hold the endless abundance. You are perfectly designed for this new elevated altitude, and the thin, clean air up here will finally feel incredibly easy for your tired lungs to breathe. Take a deep and slow breath in this quiet moment. Feel the gentle weight of true peace finally settling over your physical body. The spiritual war you have been fighting for decades is completely over. The massive struggle is done. The unseen enemies that tried to keep your bright frequency suppressed have totally lost their tight grip on your beautiful life because they cannot operate at your new vibration. Your ultimate breakthrough is not coming sometime tomorrow or next week. It is already here, and waiting patiently inside your own breathing chest. The magnificent universe is not making you wait for a better version of yourself to magically appear. The heavy waiting room is officially closed. The beautiful cosmic arrangement is already operating fully in your favor this very second, and you just have to gently open your eyes to finally see it all. Tomorrow morning you are going to wake up feeling undeniably different. The heavy static that used to cloud your waking thoughts will be entirely gone. You will open your eyes and feel a steady confidence anchoring your soul. The old anxious panic will simply fade away. It will be beautifully replaced by a profound and unshakable inner silence that nobody in this noisy world will ever be able to disrupt again. There is nothing left for you to fiercely fight or anxiously figure out today. You do not need to constantly monitor your spiritual progress anymore. You do not have to constantly worry about losing this new elevation. Your divine activation is completely secure and totally irreversible. The Holy Seal has been permanently placed upon your beautiful quantum spirit, and it will safely guard your radiant energy for the rest of your incredible physical life. The quiet isolation was truly your greatest blessing in a brilliant disguise. The universe hid you away safely until your high frequency was incredibly strong, and now you are fully ready to step completely out of the dark shadows. You are ready to walk in your complete authority. The broken world desperately needs the exact healing light you are finally allowing to shine, and heaven is smiling down on your total beautiful restoration. Rest deeply tonight, knowing that you are perfectly safe and infinitely loved by the Creator. You are exactly where you are supposed to be in this vast and magnificent universe. Your beautiful assignment has officially and permanently begun today. There is nothing to fear. Breathe in the absolute peace of heaven right now, and let your fully restored frequency gently guide you all the way back to your true spiritual home.